see if this works.
Junk Shop Libraries Improv Bible Study. Are you ready for this? All right, well, welcome back everybody once again to the Junk Shop Library channel, home of the one and the only Improv Bible Study, where we have taken it upon ourselves to read every last word of the King James Version and make merciless fun of it when that's appropriate, and when it's not, point out what an appalling piece of Bronze Age misogynistic horse hockey it is. Now you know what you're in for today. If, you just happen to stumble in through chance. We will be turning today to the 24th chapter of the book of Deuteronomy. And without further ado, let's launch right into this and pray for fewer technical difficulties this time around. Alrighty, Deuteronomy 24. When a man hath taken a wife, and married her, and it come to pass that she find no favour in his eyes, because he hath found some uncleanness in her, then let him write her a bill of divorcement, and give it in her hand, and send her out of his house. And when she is departed out of his house, she may go and be another man's wife. And if the latter husband hate her, and write her a bill of divorcement, and giveth it into her hand, and sendeth her out of his house, or if the latter husband die, which took her to be his wife, her former husband, which sent her away, may not take her again to be his wife, after that she is defiled, for that is an abomination before the Lord. And thou shalt not cause the land to sin, which the Lord thy God giveth thee for an inheritance. When a man hath taken a new wife, he shall not go out to war, neither shall he be charged with any business, but he shall be free at home 1 year, and shall cheer up his wife, which he hath taken. No man shall take the nether nor the upper millstone to pledge, for he taketh a man's life to pledge. If a man be found stealing any of his brethren of the children of Israel, and maketh merchandise of him, or selleth him, then that thief shall die, and thou shalt put evil away from among you. Take heed in the plague of leprosy, that thou observe diligently, and do according to all that the priests the Levites shall teach you. As I commanded them, so ye shall observe to do. Remember what the Lord thy God did unto Miriam by the way, after that ye were come out of Egypt. When thou dost lend thy brother anything, thou shalt not go into his house to fetch his pledge. Thou shalt stand abroad, and the man to whom thou dost lend shall bring out the pledge abroad unto thee. And if the man be poor, thou shalt not sleep with his pledge. In any case thou shalt deliver him the pledge again when the sun goeth down, that he may sleep in his own raiment, and bless thee. And it shall be a sign of righteousness unto thee before the Lord thy God. Thou shalt not oppress an hired servant that is poor and needy, whether he be of thy brethren, or of thy strangers that are in thy land within thy gates. At his day thou shalt give him his hire, neither shall the sun go down upon it, for he is poor, and setteth his heart upon it, lest he cry against thee unto the Lord, and it be sin unto thee. The fathers shall not be put to death for the children, neither shall the children be put to death for the fathers. Every man shall be put to death for his own sin. Thou shalt not pervert the judgment of the stranger, nor of the fatherless, nor take a widow's raiment to pledge. But thou shalt remember that thou wast a bondman in Egypt, and the Lord thy God redeemed thee thence. Therefore I command thee to do this thing. When thou cuttest down thine harvest in thy field, and hast forgot a sheaf in the field, thou shalt not go again to fetch it. It shall be for the stranger, for the fatherless, or for the widow, that the Lord thy God may bless thee in all the work of thine hands. When thou beatest thine olive tree, thou shalt not go over the boughs again. It shall be the stranger, for the fatherless, and for the widow. When thou gatherest the grapes of thy vineyard, thou shalt not glean it afterwards. It shall be for the stranger, for the fatherless, and for the widow. And thou shalt remember that thou wast a bondman in the land of Egypt. Therefore I command thee to do this thing. And there we have the 24th chapter of Deuteronomy. Another mixed bag, yes? Alright, so that's another one of those readings. It wouldn't be so bad if it weren't for all the shit in it. Why will no one drink from this punch bowl? Okay, so you can divorce your wife on grounds of uncleanness never specified. She can't divorce you, but you can divorce your wife. And then she's fair game. Somebody else can marry her. If the man your ex-wife marries, then divorces her, you are not allowed to then marry her again. And that is the extent of what is to be done about her. There's no, therefore she shall be provided for, because she hath been cast out penniless by 2 of the children of Israel. Therefore the Lord, which looketh even upon the sparrow, shall cause her to be remunerated from the funds of the Levites in a tiny little amount. None of that. She is toast. All but literal toast, because while it's been a while since I've had occasion to say it, remember, all of this has taken place in the burning-ass desert. TM. If I ever do merch, I'll have a t-shirt that says burning-ass desert tourism industries or something like that. You're exempt from going to war or from being compelled to take up any new business for 1 year after you get married. It's a hell of a honeymoon, during which time you are to cheer up thy wife. And that's either an absolutely delightful little figure of speech, or it's a horrendous one. Because most of the new brides that have been taken over the course of the last few chapters seem to have all been pillaged from genocided neighboring tribes. So it may be actual cheering up that you're having to do. Talking her down from the roof. Literally. Then verse 6. Do not take a millstone as surety for a debt. Well, I mean, that makes perfect sense, doesn't it? If someone has a millstone, they're a mill worker, not a milliner. That's a hat-making person. A millman. A miller. And since millstones only work in pairs, it makes absolutely no sense to take one of Mr. Miller's millstones away as surety for a debt, because then how in the hell is he supposed to grind corn and meal and so forth and so on? So I'm actually on board with that. If a man be found stealing his brethren, and maketh merchandise of him, Kill his ass. You know what? I'm okay with that too. I don't have a lot of sympathy for man stealers and slave sellers. Just on the word of at least 2 witnesses, remember. God is a just and righteous Lord. Oh, I tell you, I got so scared when verse 8 rolled around, take heed in the plague of leprosy that thou observe diligently. I was like, oh my. Last time we talked about leprosy, it took us like 4 chapters, and here's Moses repeating stuff again. He's going to repeat all the leprosy instructions. We'll have to talk about house leprosy and forehead baldness not being leprosy and everything. Nope. Nope, for once. Old man Moses doesn't actually repeat the whole thing. He just says, remember, there's instructions for what to do in case of the leprosy. Do it. And the significant portion of the chapter then is about surety for debt, token repossessing, including one of the most, even if one of the few, merciful and realistic laws out of all the New Testament so far, which is, if you've taken a poor man's coat as a surety for his debt, you have to give it back to him at night so his ass don't freeze. Because remember, burning ass desert gets real fucking cold at night. Now, then you can take it back in the morning, you know, because it's surety for the debt, you know, whilst he's out alms for the poor-ing or whatever. But you have to give him back his coat. Y'all, I do beg your pardon. Where's my coffee? Oh, my cup runneth not over. Oh dear. Improv Bibles. Oh, that was the espresso. All right. What's the line from the novelization of one of the original Star Wars movies where R2 plugs into the wall socket the power outlet instead of the computer information terminal, and the line the narrator gives is something like managing to give a decent impression of a man who had expected a mild wine and instead downed a glass of something 180 proof. Sometimes we digress here in the library. You should know that by now. If you don't, that means you have not yet poked the Pope. Yeah, no scapegoating of death allowed by Yahweh, the God of the Bible. He has explicit instructions that the father shall not be put to death for the sin of the children, neither the children for that of the fathers. Every man shall be put to death for his own sin. That's Deuteronomy 24, verse 16. Sharpen it, memorize it, use it. Let it be as frontlets between thy brows, that thou rememberest it always. And then the gleaning laws. And so, for once, we end out a chapter on a happy note. The reminder that there's super, super, super poor people, widows, or twice divorced women who have no other, means, and scavenging along after your hired harvesters is the only way they can keep alive. So it bears repeating, and bears repeating a couple of times within those verses, that yes, the olive trees, yes, the corn, yes, it goes for everything, damn it. You don't get to go back through. Let those poor starving ass people have, those extra 6 olives that you weren't able to shake out the tree. Alright, well, that's about all I've got on that one. Although I guess it was worth going through it, if for no other reason than to touch on Deuteronomy chapter 24, verse 16. The fathers shall not be put to death for the children, neither shall the children be put to death for the fathers. Every man shall be put to death for his own sin. Which apparently somebody forgot to tell, Jesus. Oh my. Alright. Well, we will hope to see y'all again here soon. This may be the last one until after the weekend. I think I've managed to stagger some of these releases, but it's a holiday weekend, go watch 1776, cue up some Sousa. Don't watch this damn fool military parade. Just ignore it. The views expressed here in the library are exclusively those of the tweedy little atheist presenting them, and are not necessarily those of... Who do we got? Chucky, Harley Quinn, Papa Emeritus, Hernando the Dancing Bear, Lady Gaga, or Oogie Boogie. Alright. Well, we'll look forward to seeing y'all again here soon. Until we meet again, everybody take care, be safe, and as always, stand against hate. Bye now.